the pleasure today of introducing our speaker, Rachel Hartman. Rachel is the founding executive director of the Downtown DC Foundation, which is separate from the bid, and I know she'll get into that, which serves and celebrates the downtown DC community. Since 2019, Rachel has created and led this new organization to effectively support homeless services, parks, and public spaces, and events and programming efforts in downtown DC. I actually met Rachel at a networking event during my faux retirement last fall, and we met and then we met following that to discuss how Rotary could work together with the foundation to do more in the downtown core. Specifically, we talked about the Trees for the Capital program. I'm sorry that Bill Dent is not here today nor on the call, but we'll get them connected later on. Rachel previously worked for 5 years at the Downtown DC Business Improvement District, the BID, where she rose to lead all marketing and communications efforts as the Director of Interactive Marketing and Communications. In that role, Rachel created a robust summer event program from the ground up, established new partnership and sponsorships in the public and private sectors, and increased awareness and communications for the organization and its stakeholders through coordinated PR, marketing, and communications plans. I'm sure many of you have gone down to the Christmas market down along, is it F Street? Yeah. Finally got to do that this year. Saw Rachel again. Hopefully we can do more as we're trying to bring the downtown back to life. Rachel joined the BID after 10 years in political journalism, including working as a White House reporter for Yahoo News. She is also currently serving as the vice chair of the board of directors for the National Cherry Blossom Festival. So I'm sure she's rested up from all that work in April. And she holds a BA in print journalism from American University. She lives in DC with her husband and 2 sons. Please give Rachel a warm Rotary welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me here. It's such an honor. And when Jennifer said this was a friendly group, she wasn't lying. You all have been so warm and inviting. And what inspirational messages of service you all are sharing. I really appreciate hearing that. I'm excited to be here also because we are in downtown DC, the area we serve. So our organization is connected to the Downtown DC Business Improvement District. How many of you are familiar with business improvement districts? All right. So this is just a brief overview, and since that side part, I'll just read it off. So a business improvement district here in DC is created by property owners, and they pay a tax to the city, and that goes to the business improvement district, and they were all started for clean and safe services originally. And it creates a direct connection between the businesses and buildings with the community. So the business improvement district is a 501c6 organization. So the first bid was founded in Toronto in the 70s. There's now about 2,500 bids in North America. They're called place management organizations here because they have different names in other places. And here in the district, there are 12 of these bids. The Downtown DC bid, which we are in, is the oldest and was founded in '97 when the MCI Center was about to open. This is a map of the current bids in DC, and that red one in the center is downtown DC, and that's approximately 140 blocks. The newest one is Friendship Heights, which isn't colored on that map yet, but Friendship Heights was created in the past several years. This is our bid boundary. So here we are on 16th Street to the west. It goes all the way to North Capitol and Mass Ave on the north down to Constitution. So that's the geographic area that we serve. And downtown and bids typically do clean and safe services, as I mentioned, but we've grown beyond that to support economic development, help with homeless services, parks, events and programming, marketing, and then promotion. We get involved in real estate and events and city initiatives as well. And those are some of our ambassadors in the red jackets. We call them SAMs, Safety, Hospitality, and Maintenance Ambassadors. So you may see them on the street. In Golden Triangle, they're yellow. So let's get into the fun stuff, which is in 2019, the bid, I'm gonna take these off. 2019, I had been working for a number of years, getting sponsorships for events for the bid and getting in external revenue. And we decided that we wanted to create a charitable organization to focus on our community and philanthropic efforts. And at the end of the exercise of figuring out what this would be, I was asked to lead and start up this organization and find a board of directors. So one of the most interesting things about focus groups to put together this organization was that we had folks over here who were very interested in parks. We had folks very interested in homeless services. We had folks very much interested in economic development. And we decided that instead of choosing one of those, we would take a holistic approach to this organization, believing that we can't have a successful park if we don't do something for individuals experiencing homelessness. And why have an event in a park that's not well maintained and operated? So we launched our organization in October of 2019 as two major initiatives were coming online. One was the opening of a downtown day services center for people experiencing homelessness that's in the basement of the New York Avenue Presbyterian Church. And the other was Franklin Park was slated to close for renovation. So we launched an organization, which Jennifer mentioned our mission statement, I'll just repeat quickly, is to serve and celebrate the downtown DC community by revitalizing parks, providing critical homeless services, and enhancing public spaces and experiences. And we tell people we enhance the work of the bid. They're focused on the business community and economic development. We can enhance in other areas that better support our community. And the next slide is a little bit about homelessness in the District of Columbia. So on any given night, nearly 5,000 individuals experiencing homelessness are on the streets of the District of Columbia. Yeah, and that number has increased for the first time since 2016, this past year. Some of that's based on, this is from a point in time count. So some of you are familiar with that. In January, individuals go out in the streets all over the country to count the number of individuals experiencing homelessness to get accurate data. So it is a slice of one day, but it's the first time it's increased in a number of years. And that's for a variety of reasons. You can see at the bottom of this chart, 39% of those individuals experiencing homelessness are chronically homeless adults. Now, when we think about homelessness in the District of Columbia, I'm sure many of us can name a lot of organizations specifically supporting women and families and veterans. That's true here in the District of Columbia. And our facility is designed to support chronically homeless adults who don't have a number of services directly targeting them. So we wanted to create a place where they could go and get the services that they need. That increase, mind you, is something experienced by downtowns all over the country through COVID and beyond. So we're not unique in that. And I'm sure you all have seen stories about other downtowns in other cities that are suffering worse in this area or faring better. So this is our facility. It's open Monday through Friday from 9 to 4. And it was designed for these individuals who may have a lot of barriers to getting help in different ways, would have no barrier here. So it's a no barrier facility with a housing first model, which means however you show up, housing is still the first goal of your case managers there. So whether that's substance abuse, mental health, physical health, or other challenges you're facing, getting you connected with a case manager on site and helping you secure housing is a primary goal. But in order to get folks to come and be able to connect with people and have everything in one place, we put every resource that they might need in one area. And this isn't a huge space. So there's a video coming up that shows it, but we've managed to pack a lot in. So in addition to food, beverages, and restrooms, which is an important thing for downtown, we have showers, laundry. We have an on-site healthcare suite run by Unity Healthcare. We have dental care on site. We have housing services. You can get the DMV there and get a government ID, which is really unique for facilities in the district. Hard to get a driver's license when you're not homeless. We make it really easy by bringing that there. Employment assistance, case management, legal services, vital records, harm reduction services, computer and phone access, mail services, and community, I wrote as the last service, because a lot of folks are just looking for somewhere where they're accepted and they can get help and that they can help their lives. So these are some of the ways our foundation has assisted this facility, which is funded in large part by a grant from the DC Department of Human Services. So these are some of our initiatives. We established a dental clinic after finding out that I think it's 97% of individuals experiencing homelessness have some form of edentalism, broken or missing teeth. We established a clinic there to help people get teeth, which is, a huge barrier to employment, eating, having pain. The trauma that you have just by living on the streets often makes it difficult to stick to appointments, get transportation. Our on-site dental clinic, which is run by one of our board members, has helped a ton of people improve their lives. In addition to that, we have a great program called a Welcome Home Kit program. After individuals are placed in housing, a lot of them show up with nothing, and there's nothing in the unit. So when we found that out, we worked first with Coca-Cola Consolidated to send $500 worth of home goods right to their doorstep. We just Amazoned it to their doorstep, and they were able to open dishes, towels, linens, food, garbage cans, cleaning supplies, things that folks may not even know they needed. Sometimes when we give out the wish list, folks will say, you have $500 to spend. What do you need? And they'll say a soap and a washcloth. And so the case managers work to help folks understand what they might need to live in their space comfortably. So I really love that program. And we also do holiday meals. We do Thanksgiving and Christmas. We're always looking for volunteers, also for lunchtime meal services, but we help out with the holidays to make them extra special. And one of my favorite programs, which Jennifer's heard about, is we did a Macy's Women's Wellness Day. We found out that women at our facility who are growing in numbers, we originally thought we'd serve about 160 people a day. We're serving 250 a day. And a lot more women than we had previously. We found out they didn't have bras, and if they did, they didn't fit properly. And when women told us that, we went out and tried to find a partner, and Macy's stepped in, the one here at Metro Center, and we took 20 women from our facility down there. They got personal fittings with the stylist. They got bras and underwear, lunch, beauty products. It was the most heartwarming experience. And it really made a difference for them. And some of them said, I was nervous to even come in here because of how I look or that I'm homeless. And Chantel, who's the manager there, has been an amazing partner. One thing, I'm getting choked up thinking about it, Jennifer, is when we ran that program, we offered women the opportunity to take a shower before we went over in case it made them feel more comfortable. And some of the women said, we don't want to take a shower because being soiled keeps us safer overnight on the streets. And that was really powerful to hear, and made me think about the times when, you enter a Metro car and someone smells like they're soiled, or people complain about someone being in front of their building. And, very often there's a lot more going on than just someone being unclean. That was a little heavy. But we also do a lot of fun things too in the spaces in downtown for all members of the community. And part of the focus on homeless services, I don't want to say is not altruistic, but it's also to reduce street disorder. Our taxpayers are business owners and properties, and they want a safe, welcoming environment for their tenants, employees, and visitors as well. So having this facility is also reducing the amount of disorder in the geographic area around it as well. Franklin Park, as I mentioned, which is at 13th and K, is our big win because we got to renovate that. But there are 31 parks and plazas in our little area that are all owned by the National Park Service. And so we actually, in 2019, then President Trump signed into law a package that allowed the DC government for the first time to invest directly in the renovation of the park, and then to have a lease agreement for it for 10 years. So the Downtown DC bid's the operator of that park through the city government for 10 years. And that's why it was allowed to become this jewel of a park and have different management. And many of you may know there's a lot less trees in that park. The park previously was really underutilized and also poorly maintained, and National Park Service will say that as well. You know, broken sidewalks, there's no restrooms, everything, the seating was broken, the trees were dying, landscaping wasn't working. And now there's a public restroom, a children's play area, ADA accessible walkways, seating, shade, you name it, it's there. So we're trying to utilize it as much as possible for events and host a lot of free programming there throughout the summer. Extending beyond just parks, public spaces can be a plaza, it can be a roadway. So we've helped near Chinatown Park, which is at 6th and I. There's some new art on the ground, and we've made some pedestrianization of the corners there to make them safer. So we added art, we added a little safety, and now we have more programming in that park as well. So we work on public art, street furniture, as I said, and also other initiatives in plazas, landscaping, beautification. We've been looking at McPherson Park to do a lot of things there, as well as Chinatown Park. And lately you may have heard about the city releasing a downtown action plan. They're very focused on Lafayette Park and then McPherson and Farragut. Farragut's close to here, slight in the Golden Triangle bid, and making that an area to draw visitors up from the mall into our parks up here. So we're hopeful that gets more fun. And this is just a list of some of our events that we have for the community. Some of which are in Franklin Park. So we just finished Jazz and Blossoms with Cherry Blossom Festival. Downtown DC Summer Flicks is a nighttime movie series, and Downtown DC Live is a lunchtime concert series right there. So I know your lunch times are here, but when you do have a moment free, it's a great way to spend the afternoon. So those are some of our events there. And I wanted to leave you also with a last video testimony from one of our clients. So this is a guest named Marty, who has been with us for a number of years and has recently moved out of our facility and on to better things. And while that's teeing up, you may have seen some news about downtown lately. The Capital One Arena is remaining, which was a collective sigh of relief for a lot of us for many reasons, but for us in particular, it really is a shot in the arm for the economy. So we feel like our organization,
funders, donors, investors, and volunteers who are thinking about giving a contribution or coming and donating time and energy to the Downtown DC. Let me be the first to tell you that I 100% support you, believe in you, and want you to know that all that you do is welcome, because without you all, there would be no Downtown DC. And the services that we get here, the services that help the homeless community, from the mental health services, the medical services, the food that we receive every day, clothing, the laundry services, the case management, the getting credentials, driver's license to the therapy, to the fact that we all have a place. Us transients, our homeless people, all have a place where we can come and we can meet and gather, and we become a family, a unit. All this comes from your time, your energy, and your donations. So with the 100%, I tell you, keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop, and know that all that you do is greatly appreciated by the people in this community.
Thank you. And our very last slide is just some ways to learn more or get involved. We're unique in that our parent organization funds all of our operations. So every dollar we raise can go to our program. So it's a really unique opportunity to raise funding that goes directly to the people we serve. So thank you so much for having me here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes, we take questions. I'll call on people for you. So we got Armenia, we've got Max, we got Dr. Sam, and then I'll come back here. Short questions, please. We don't have much time.
5,000 people homeless. How do they know your existence? Because when they are homeless, they are completely out of any type of contact with anyone.
That's a great question.
The second question about the park, improvement park, are you the organization involved also in creating a higher number of a parking space? Like for instance, my idea is to have the downtown inside of the mall, a good parking space so people can go and enjoy everything. Find the parking is terrible.
So the first question was, how did the 5,000 individuals experiencing homelessness find out about our organization? That's through we have a street outreach group who goes out on the streets specifically to interact with folks who are not receiving our services and who are not interested. You know, there's enough shelter beds technically for everyone who needs it right now. It's just the process and if people are interested. So street outreach has been really effective in getting people to know us. We have literature, we have cards that are laminated that can't get damaged that we pass out to folks, that other folks pass out word of mouth. The library has our information and the other facilities in the area have our information. We also put a lot of sandwich boards outside the facility that are saying, come in, we're open, like we're here for you. There's no barrier to entry. So those are some of the ways. And then there's a lot of case managers in the city who do similar work. Shelter vans also drop there in the morning. So if someone stays at a shelter, they can get dropped at our facility in the morning. The second question was about parking and improving that around the National Mall, I think. I don't have I don't have a good solution. There's a lot of issues around parking and, you know, car transportation in general in the city and how to get more people back downtown. I think parking is a big issue that everyone recognizes. I don't have a good solution.
Thank you for your service. It's great. I see all of the stuff that you're doing. Let me just ask you quickly, what is your annual budget and who provides it? How do you get it?
Thanks for that question. What's your annual budget and who provides it? Last year, our revenue was $775,000. We're about to enter our 5th year. Most of our funding comes from the BID is our biggest donor. So they're a little less than half of our funding, our parent organization. And the rest is mostly corporate. Well, it used to be mostly corporate. We just moved up to about half, a third foundational, a third corporate, and a third individual. Thank you. So that's about how we're split. And that's just us and a development consultant doing outreach and working with our boards of directors. Thanks.
Thank you for being here. Excellent presentation. You're doing good work because I walk around downtown quite frequently through different bids. So thank you for your work. Many of those trees you're talking about in the parks come from this club. This is through our Trees for the Capital and the World. And if you go to Farragut Park, probably almost 75% of all those trees in there now, starting back 30 years, came from this club through our foundation. So, and they're maturing, and it's a good thing. But going back to the parks, because we know this is really a respite for so many people, what can we do more? We're doing the tree planting and cooperation with the National Park Service. What else could we be doing? One of the things we're starting for the first time, May's part of this, and Bill as well, and others, is the pollinator meadows. And so that's something brand new. We're doing the first one down on the mall itself. But what else could we be doing? And thank you for being here.
That's a great question as well. There's a host of things we can do to support parks, from just advocacy with the National Park Service and the city government for why we need beautiful park spaces, to things like pollinator gardens. We have a bioretention pond. We were working with a beekeeper for a while, doing things that are ecological in our parks that attract people and get more attention to them is always helpful. We also do improvements through funding. So whether that's seeding or landscaping and beautification, we have a Downtown DC Parks Fund that feeds into that. So funding for that, and also volunteering to help with those efforts. And I love the tree work that you all do, and Jennifer filled me in. I'd love to be connected about that for our other parks as well.
Thank you for that talk. I know that I just wanted to touch on this one thing. I know that a large percentage of the homeless are former foster youth who have aged out of care. And so I just want you guys to keep that in mind. This is a full circle cycle thing that we're dealing with. And it's like half of the half are homeless. And that's a large number. I mean, another portion are in prison, another portion are, doing okay, and it's spread out like that. So I want to personally thank you, because I know that those services go a long way, but by the grace of God go I. Thank you. So we have a tradition here at our club where we present all of our speakers with your very own tree. So you will be able to come and it'll be on the mall, in the spaces where you work and where you do your good deeds. And here's the coordinates where your tree will be. I don't know how to do it, but it's all the information is on there, and you will be able to find your tree. And when the planting happens, we'll let you know. And here's a nice little pin. And thank you for speaking. This is very important.